Can you tell us about Go for One, man? That's one of our favorites.
Okay, yeah, she was a very, very special filly from the very start. Really gave her time to mature until the fall of her 2-year-old year, and then ran a great race the day she broke her maiden. Came back a little disappointed she got beaten to 𝐓𝐴ZETT, but then we brought her down here about 35 days ahead of the Breeders' Cup to get her acclimated. There was history after that, so she ran a tremendous race. Obviously, 2-year-old filly of the year. Turned her out a little bit after that, gave her some time off and freshened her up, and brought her back to Kentucky in the spring. Won the 2 races in Keeneland. Got beaten the Kentucky Oaks, unfortunately, and then brought her back to New York, where she was doing extremely well. Ran her in the test in the Alabama, which is unheard of nowadays to run 7/8 in a mile and a quarter, but she took the pressure off me being such a great horse.
Her jockey was Randy Roeder, right?
Yeah, Randy Roeder, her whole entire career. Yeah, he loved her from the day he ever worked her the first time to right to the day she hurt herself. So.
Yeah, I remember when she did get beat by Wayne Lucas on Stella Madrid and the 𝐓𝐴ZETT.
Right.
She came back and whooped her.
And she beat her in the Breeders' Cup, right? Yeah, one thing she didn't like was the track, like when it didn't have a lot of moisture in it. It was a little bit loose and cuppy, which happened to be on the day she got beaten with 𝐓𝐴ZETT, as well as the Kentucky Oaks for that matter. That's kind of a funny track. And then, unfortunately, she got hurt in the Breeders' Cup filly and mare race that year. But we enjoyed all the good things she did and all the great career she had, and it was great enjoyment to us. And they only come right that once in a lifetime.
She ran a mile and an eighth on 145 and changed it up, right?
Yeah, she was 2/5 off the Secretariat's record, and Randy virtually never moved on her.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, that day she could have easily broke the record if he put any pressure on her, but that's how good a filly she really was.
What got you introduced to this life, though, loving horses like this?
Well, my father grew up on the racetrack. He was in the 40s when he was 15, 16 years old. He was a jockey. Rode races for 4 years until he got too big, and then he actually went to work for Woody Stevens. For 17 years he worked for Woody, breaking the yearlings for Harry F. Guggenheim, which back in the heyday was Kane Hoy's stable, and did that. And we used to go to Columbia, South Carolina, where the horses back then, the 2-year-olds were raised there and then brought back north to New York. And then after that, as he got a little bit older, he started putting up with me and came to work for me in the latter part of his life. But phenomenal guy. Everybody loved him. Nicknamed Papa Zeke. Just a great guy. Yeah. And,
what's your favorite moment in this life?
Getting up and be able to come to work every day at the racetrack.
And how important is the guys and women that work back here?
Oh yeah, they're the backbone of the industry. Without them, there'd be no trainers, no racing, pretty much nothing in the game. So they're really the backbone of the industry. They love what they do. They're into the horse racing, and they love their horses. Come to work every day, 7 days a week, and beat the drum. So they deserve a lot of the credit.
And if you had to pick a couple of favorite horses, man, 'cause I know you just can't narrow one down.
Two of my favorites, one was 𝐓𝐴ZETT, who obviously I worked for Woody Stevens before I trained on my own, and he was one of my favorites, won the Kentucky Derby, great horse. And then I had a little horse called 𝐓𝐴Z𝐬. 𝐓𝐴Z𝐬 is a really neat horse, won 5 out of 6 races, beat More Than Ready, won the fraternity, won a grade 1. He was one of my favorite horses of all time, and then we sold him to be a stallion. So,
what's the first horse you ever brought?
First horse I ever bought was a $4,000 maiden when I first started training in Atlantic City. He won 3 in a row, so I was able to feed the barn.
The daily grind, right? What it takes to start from the bottom like you did to kind of be where you at right now?
Well, it just takes a lot of dedication. You really need a good work ethic. You gotta you got to be determined, be able to realize that you got to come to work 7 days a week, work 8, 10, 12 hours a day, and you put the time in and it'll pay off.
I gave you a call out the blue. Tony Stabile gave me your number and he said, man, this is a good guy to call him, and I called you and I told you what we had going on about the program, and you didn't even hesitate for us to come down and gave us all access, and I want to say thank you and really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. They need more of you guys back there. Yeah, hey, listen guys, the real players is what it's all about back there. These guys put a lot of time and effort into it. Make sure you follow their page on Facebook.